off, disconnected the wires up there, took my wire tester, turned the breaker back on, had that switch off. There were no hot wires here. Turned the light switch on, and then one pair of wires up here were on. So I knew the power was coming from the light switch on up to here. So even if this cord, this pigtail on this water system was long enough, I was not going to take the chance to come out of this box and come down and then have the inspector shut it down and say, nope, can't do that. So I thought, what else could I do? And see, they had this was the existing smoke alarm up here, and I took it down. I thought maybe it's hardwired to the system. And sometimes they're hardwired and have the backup 10-year lithium battery. This particular one had that. Sometimes you can, if you don't have power to the house breaker, a breaker to the sub panel, you can still get one of these and just use the battery and screw it up to a wall wherever, ceiling, and use it, and it's just battery operated. This one's battery operated and hardwired. So I knew that there's power in this junction box 100% of the time when the breaker's turned on. And it happened to be on a 20 amp circuit. Well, this thing only pulls 2 amps, so it could have been off. If there was an existing plug in the wall, and if that was on a 15 amp circuit somewhere, it would have been okay to use that, okay? But there was nothing. And then the question became, well, if that wasn't up here, could I have come off of that and put a surface mounted box, ran the wire up and over, and the guy called his boss. He said, nope, you're not supposed to have this tankless water heater on the same circuit as your mechanical. I don't know why, but he said that, and so just as well I wasn't going to do it anyways, because here's the smoke alarm. And funny, talking about the smoke alarm, because he's got gas in here and stuff, I thought, oh shoot, I should probably have one of those that says smoke and carbon monoxide. And when you test these, if they have carbon monoxide on there, then the lady talks. Sometimes the lady doesn't talk, and then you know it's just smoke. Let's just press it and see, okay? Fire.
Warning, carbon monoxide.
Warning, carbon monoxide. Did you hear? Now, if you have a carbon monoxide one and smoke, they'll come on and talk. So I know this is carbon monoxide and a smoke alarm, because you've got to have that up in an attic by code. It's like that if you have gas appliances, okay? And so I thought, oh, okay, that's cool. So anyway, the main power was on here, so this was pushed right up tight to the ceiling. And so I took that down and I got a metal box, an extension box, so I put that up there, and the wires were so short I had to make some pigtails. I mean, they were only about that long, and you know, the existing power. And so I took some pigtails, and if you've been watching any of my electrical stuff, you know what a pigtail is. And I got those stuck down so I could run my power line off of here, and hooked it all up, and got this at the Home Depot, of course, my favorite hardware store. Ran that out of the side, ran it on down, put it on a metal box, had a metal cover plate, put a regular duplex electrical outlet there, hooked it all up. Of course, I turned the power off before I did all that, and then afterwards I turned the power on. I checked that with the tester, and then I also I looked up here and I didn't see any green light, and I thought, oh shoot, is it hooked up right? And I forgot, oh, I have to test it and reset it. Anytime you turn your power off, the main breaker, to all your smoke alarms, you have to reset these for them to work. So I had to go throughout the house and press all the buttons, especially this one too, and now it works fine and all that. So I knew that was working. So that's why I was an electrician the other day. And I couldn't make a video of it all. You should have seen it. There was, those two guys were here working on this. I was up here. Then we had the mechanical guy come here, and he checked out our system, because when we bought the house, we had a home inspector come in, and he made some reference about this, whether or not we needed a pan, drip pan, in case this unit ever leaked. And the thing about that, when the guy came, he says there's actually a drip pan in this section already. And then there's see, this is a prime, this says prime. I think that means primary outlet for a drain. And then if the drain fills up too high, this is the secondary one. See, it says second. That comes over, and there's no place to drain it. So then they can take a condensate pump. It has a little canister of water that, you know, if this fills up, it fills this little container up. There's a little float in there. It lifts up, that turns on, pumps the water out of this clear tube. Look at that. See where it goes? It goes right up through that, and it goes up on the roof, and then it drains out there. And so when the guy was here, I had him test that. He filled that up with water. It's not working. I said that pump needs to be replaced. So he's getting a new one, and he'll be here within a few days. And I said, is there anything else? Well, he saw a couple existing knockouts, some KO seals that were gone. And then this was, there was a gap there, and he said, oh, that should be filled. And I said, can you use your tape? He says, yeah, he had some heavy duty foil tape. He fixed that, and he fixed that, and he cleaned the coils while he was there. And he said, in front of this section right here, you're supposed to have a piece of galvanized sheet metal that sticks out about 16, 18 inches in front of that, and at least from this edge to this edge. So I'm going to go to, I told him, I said, I'll take care of that, and I'll go to Home Depot, get a piece of galvanized flashing. They sell it in squares, different sizes. I think they have 3 different sizes. 18 by 18 is what I'm looking for. But if they have 20 by 20, I can slip that under there and let it stick below this edge about an inch or so, he said. And as long as it's from this edge to that edge. So if it's from here to there, that's fine. I can slip it under there, and then I can let it stick out about 18 inches or to here, and then just screw it down to the floor. Because there's gas that comes out of there, and they don't want this to get too hot, and then have the plywood get hot, or for some reason have it catch fire or something. It's a safety code issue. If this was built brand new, an inspector would make them do that. Okay, so I just have to fix that. And then when he took the water, when the plumbers took the water heater out, the vent on the gas water heater went over to here. And so when they took that out, they didn't have a cap for that. And the guy and the plumber's asking the mechanical guy when he's here, oh, do you happen to have a cap for that? No. Oh, we'll just put some tape over it. We'll just put this tape over it. And I thought, nothing doing. I don't want just tape over that. I mean, I guess it would have worked. And I said, I'll make you a cap. He goes, how are you going to make a cap? and the extension piece that they're using for this vent was the same size as this. You know, this is bigger. See how big that is? It was a smaller one, 3-inch, came out to here. They had the little extension piece of 3-inch, and I said, I'm going to make it out of that. And their eyes about bugged out of their head. How are you going to make it out of that? Took my 10 snips and started cutting it, and then was able to cut a big enough piece so that I could then flatten it out. And then I had to measure from the center of this over and over, and then I measured an inch over beyond that all the way around. Boom, measured there, measured there, measured there, measured there, to get marks all the way around. Connected them, cut that, and then made little V cuts every 3/4 of an inch or so. You make a V, cut that out, and then you leave a little tab, and then you do another V, cut that out, make a little tab, and then you fold the tabs. Boom, 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 boom. And in about 10 minutes, I handed him the cap. I said, try that. He goes, fits perfect. How'd you do that? And so I made him put it on. He was supposed to put it on with some little sheet metal screws, and then wrap it. I don't know if he put the screws or not, but he wrapped it. Now it's a nice metal cap. Hey, they didn't have a cap. There's a way to make a cap. You could go to the store, but they wanted to finish up the project. The caps would have cost about $5. You know, saved them $5. And we got the job done in about 10-15 minutes. So anyway, back to this electrical. I want to talk about this electrical a little bit. I went to the store at first. I forget what this stuff is called. This is like, I don't know, 3/8. There's a certain name for it. It comes with the wire. It comes with the wiring. Yeah, 3/8. There's a certain name for it. And anyway, at the store, it came with the 3 wires, and I needed 12 gauge because it was on a 20 amp circuit. You need 12 gauge wire on a 20 amp circuit. If it was a 15 amp circuit, I could have ran 14 gauge wire, but I still could have ran the 20 on that. But if it's a 20 amp circuit and you go to the store and you get this, that's 14 gauge, you can't use. It's highly suggested, and it's against code, to run 14 gauge wire on a 20 amp circuit. Okay, you can do 12 gauge, which is fatter wire. Okay, well, anyways, this came. It was a 15 foot little roll, and I only needed 8 or 9 feet. Plus the ends, the wire coming out at both ends, and I needed some pigtails, and I didn't have any other wire, so I thought, okay, that's fine, 16. I'll cut the end of this off. I'll pull out the wire and all that kind of stuff. It also came with these fittings that snap into here, and they twist onto the end of that, and that all came together for like $16. And initially I was thinking. And it fits in a knockout that's set up for 1/2 inch flex, aluminum flex. I was initially thinking I'm going to use 1/2 inch aluminum flex, and with some Romex connectors at the end, not Romex, some flex connectors at the end that have threads that go in there, and then you tighten it up on the other side with a little nut. And then I would have to buy the wire, and I was going to buy a 20-foot roll of wire, 25-foot roll of wire, even if they had the 15-foot roll of wire, and then strip the Romex so I'd have just the single wires, because it was just as cheap for 15 feet of wire. If I had the guy there at the store cut the wire, it was like $1 a foot, for black, white, and green, $1 for 1 foot of all 3 total. Okay. So that was going to cost the same as buying 15 feet of Romex instead of paying for 10 feet of wire or something. But in any case, the aluminum 1/2 inch flex, the shortest roll they had was 25 feet. I don't use that stuff for much, and that was like $35 just for that. And then I'd have to buy the Romex wire. That was another $15. And then the 2 fittings on the end. So you can't just buy 2. It's like a 5-pack, and that was another $3 or $4. And then I'm looking at this, and then the clamps, for 1/2 inch. But then I started looking at this, and I thought, wait a minute, maybe I could use this. And this was like $16 for this, with the 3 wires in it, with the 2 ends. Then I had to buy just the clips, and there was 10 clips in a pack, whereas the other 5 1/2 inch clips would cost more than 10 of these. And I thought I might need more than 5 clips, so I was going to buy 2 bags. But anyways, here's the point. Had I ran the 1/2 inch flex, aluminum flex, and here's the thing too, they have steel flex and aluminum flex, okay, at the store, so be careful with that. Had I used the aluminum flex, the Romex wire down inside it, the different fittings, blah de blah de blah, that would have cost me close to, I don't know, $50 for all the parts, as opposed to this with the 3 wires in it, with the ends. That was $16. And then I had to buy these clips. Okay, so for $20 as opposed to $50, I mean, I still had to buy the box. I still would have had to get the box and the cover plate and that for either way. So I saved about $30 just by using this smaller stuff. And it's kind of tricky to cut the end of that, and I had never done it before, because then you gotta flip these on, and there's little ears on the sides of these that you have to twist back on. I had a heck of a time with one of them. But anyway, if you can use this is way cheaper, and it looks nice, doesn't it? So that was my day on the electrical. It wires up just like an electrical outlet, like I've shown you before. It tied in regular because I just wanted main power. I still had to have the pigtails sticking out to rehook up this, like I've shown you before. You know, I've got all this stuff on my channel. You would have been able to do this on your own. Had I called an electrician out here, first off, I probably wouldn't have gotten an electrician out here the same day. Secondly, they wanted, you know, they could have tested this, ran an extension cord and tested it, right? They could have done that had I not had power here for them. And the electrician, he probably would have charged me $150 to $200 just to do this. As it was, the parts were maybe $25, $30 by the time I got the plug, the cover plate, and that other thing. The extension box, I had to get this trim cover piece. I couldn't run that exactly up to there because the sheetrock was all messed up over here because this was barely covering it. So I thought I'll just use this white piece of trim. Then I had to cut a hole in it. So, you know, for 30 bucks, I did something that probably would have cost me $150. So I got an extra 120 bucks in my pocket that I saved, or that I made, because I didn't have to call an electrician. I mean, this is something you could do. You look at all of my YouTube videos, go to my playlist on the main channel page, scroll down to, you know, go to main channel page, click on playlists, and then scroll down to everything electrical or electrical know-how, you know, whatever I got it titled. And I got a slew of electrical videos there that should help you with all kinds of things around your house to save you money. Even though I'm an average Joe, you can do it too and save that money. Well, that's all I have for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.